Good. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and in truth. It's the brothers from GMS Atlanta. We got a lesson for the Akim going into basically not eating of the ways of the so-called white men, the Edomites. All right, the so-called white men put a lot of food, and he put a lot of things, food for thought, certain things to arouse you and to basically excite your appetite, your spiritual appetite. But that's not the way that you want to go. You want to shut down anything that it has to do with the ways and the luxury of America mentally, because it's at the end of the day, it's for your demise. All right, things that you should be overindulging in, so to speak, indulging in and feasting on is the words of Yahweh Shema Shah. And the things, if they don't equate and they don't revolve or actually basically go along the lines with the spirits of Yahweh Shema Shah, then you should get away from that, man. It doesn't have any upliftment. It doesn't have any moral structuring. It doesn't have any wisdom. It doesn't have any foundational pieces that can actually elevate you as a being, so to speak, as a spiritual man of the Lord. Then you shouldn't be indulging in that. Now, of course, you have downtime, but where you may go to a park like we're at and things of that nature. But hey, what we at the park for? We ain't at the park to be goddamn, dog walking and things of that nature. Which is nothing wrong with that, but for the most part, it's really in the spirit of just following the ways of the world, the fashion of the world, trying to stay updated with the fashion world, trying to eat at, and live in the sky, or the sky life, the high life, or the heavens, which the Lord is not with that. The Lord is with the men of lowly. All right, that's feasted on His word, and that's feeding and preparing a table for the men of the Lord to eat, so that they'll be filled, and everybody will be brought into this this beautiful wedding that the Lord is setting up right now. So we'll start with the scriptures.
This is Proverbs 23:1. It says, "When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee."
Right, and we're in this large house of Babylon, and it speaks about when you are eating with a ruler. Now that's really talking about spiritual etiquette when you're actually in certain positions, when you're basically accepted into the king's court, how you should hold yourself as a man of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You shouldn't be the first to swipe and grab a plate. First in line, you grabbing the plate before the king, you grabbing the plate before the bishops and things of that nature. You should put yourself at a lower standard. It tells you that in Matthew, that if you put yourself in the background, the Most High will exalt you to the forefront. All right, continue.
It says, verse 2, "And put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite."
Right, so put a knife to your throat if you be a man given to appetite. Now that's talking about physical, and it's talking about spiritually also, because appetite is in the scriptures also in Sirach. It tells you to give not yourself over to your appetites. What's your appetites? Your lust. Because we all have an appetite when it comes to the ways of the world. We all have desires.
We in the flesh.
We in the flesh, which the scriptures refer to it as an appetite, but you can't appease your appetite. It says to do what to your appetite?
It says, and put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite.
See, put a knife to your throat, meaning to cut off and basically dysfunction, or basically sever, because a knife is a severing instrument. So it says put a knife to your throat, meaning you got to chill, man. Don't be that individual that's first to grab a plate. And that's the same thing of the things of the world, man. Just because you see that it has certain things that look good to the eyes interest, that doesn't mean that it's good for you overall.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that it has your best intentions.
That's right.
Because most of the time, the thing that you lust for is the thing that can cause you to get casted out.
In most cases, always.
Yeah, in most cases.
Because it's not a lust of the spirit. It's a lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh. Can you get our 1 John 2:15? And I'm going to read the scripture real fast. Sirach 18:30, going into what I was saying about appetite. "Go not after thy lusts, but refrain thyself from thy appetites." So just like I said, each and every one of us brothers, we have different appetites. All right, some brothers may like different things of the world more than others, But it's important to be cognizant and fully recognize and be aware of what pulls you, what has a magnetic pull in the world to you. You know, some brothers are just very, very attracted to women, which we all love women, but some brothers just got a way stronger pull when it comes to, you know, women. And that may pull you out of, potentially pull you into the danger zone and get you to fall out of the truth. Some brothers have a money demon on them, you know, always about chasing the greenbacks, man, the dollar bill. And that pull can pull you out of the faith. It tells you that in 1 Timothy, all right, how it pierces men through with many sorrows. So it basically pierces you, and it makes it where you're lacking spiritual wisdom. It takes the force of Yahweh Shem Shah out of your vessel, because you're being pulled and sucked away from the spirit, and you're being sucked into the world. So that's why you can't always go after your appetites. In most cases, like the brother said, if it's your appetite or your desire, more than likely that's Satan, man. You know, cut that off. And a lot of men don't want to cut it off, just like the Elder Yashawamba did a video on, because they know at the end of the day it's gonna feel good. You have the saying, ignorance is bliss. It feels good in the inside when you're doing things that aren't right. Hey, the scriptures speak about how stolen waters are sweet, you know, and basically food eaten in secret, you know, is bread eaten in secret is fulfilling. So our people like to do things under the table, knowing that it's potentially hazardous and dangerous to their spiritual and you know, mental well-being. But at the time they have a high craving, and they can't shut down their appetite, so they follow after the appetite, which leads to instantaneous death. You want to say something?
No, that was okay. Come on. You want me to get that 1 John? This is 1 John 2:15. It says, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him." Right,
and this is a hard course that the men of the Lord are taking, because we're in the flesh. I would say each and every one of us are interwoven in this flesh, and this flesh has desires. It has its own will. It has, it says in Jeremiah the 17th chapter, how the flesh is the heart is desperately wicked above all things. Who can know it?
That's right. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Yep.
You know, so this flesh can a lot of men start to let their flesh and their lust take over them, and throw out the window everything that they're getting from the scripture. You know,
and they start eating with food sacrificed unto idols in the spirit. They stop eating at the Lord's table. Here it is, the Lord got the table of meats. You know, he might not have as much of the good stuff, I mean, as the, you know, as a regular, you know, king's meat. Like when you go into the book of Daniel, he might have a low portion of protein. You know, he got the greens, he got the mainly herbs, bitter herbs. This is the main thing we're eating of. You know, he has the honey, all the things that your body mostly needs to stay functioning. And it may not be the best meal to the tongue, so to speak, to your taste buds, but it goes down, it digests, and it's most beneficial. It's not about the taste of things, man. It's not about how things go down. But our people, they want to appease their appetite, man. They want to appease those taste buds, and they want to eat the sugaries, the desserts, you know, the cookies, the snacks, the large apple pies, the pizzas, pork pizzas, and all that stuff, shrimp, the fat back, you know, basically banqueting.
And if I could just add on to your point, and it starts off with Esau, because Esau puts all these restaurants and these things around Jake's neighborhoods. You know, Jake don't have a Whole Food or really like a Publix, you know, around in that area. So all Jake knows is the wing store on the corner. You know.
Yeah, and that equates to their mentality. They have a fast food mentality. They all about getting things on the go. And we're talking about physical things, but it all equates to spiritual things. You got that scripture?
It said, I'll read it again. It's 1 John 2:15. It says, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him."
Right, because the Lord is taking us out of the world. We're basically deleted, and we have a block button when it comes to this world. This world is in darkness, and we shouldn't equate ourselves with darkness. Keep going.
Verse 16, it says, "For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh
Mm-hmm.
and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father.
So the desires of the heart, the desires of the eyes, the desires of the mind, those things don't have nothing to do with the Most High, man.
Right.
Those are, like it speaks about in James, how those are earthly pleasures, sensual and devilish.
Mm-hmm.
All right, those things are inherently wicked. This flesh is inherently wicked. It has evil intent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it bids you to go on a track that's not feasible, and it leads you to the ways of darkness and wickedness, man. It speaks about that in Proverbs, the 7th chapter, how the man was being strayed away by the ways of women. Can you get that too? You had a precept also?
No, I can hold it. I can hold on.
Yeah, you can get that Proverbs, because the simplicity of man leads to his ruin. Walking down simple paths, we have to be subtle and as wise as possible. Scriptures speak about being harmless as dove and wise as serpents. There's certain areas where we have to flee, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's certain situations that's bigger than you as an individual in this truth. Don't go and think going to certain areas and thinking it's goddamn Willy Wonka's land, and that you're gonna come out basically cashing out on a higher rate. Nah, you're gonna go in that thing and you're gonna come out bugged out, man.
That's right. Hey,
all kind of demons on you. You go ahead.
Yeah, if I can say, because this world hates us, man. Everything in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that John 15 speaks about how the world hated Yahweh Shah, so they hate us also. Roughly paraphrase. You know, so majority of the things in the world, of course, you'll get a spiritual aspect out of it if you're